Welcome to a journey back in time, to the geopolitical landscape of the Middle East before the Iranian Revolution. The stage is set, in the heart of the Middle East, Iran, under the rule of Shah Mohammad Reza Pahlavi. It's the mid-20th century, and the Shah, a modern monarch, is pushing for a new Iran, an Iran that stands tall among the world's nations. But beneath the surface, things are far from stable. The Shah, with his westernized ideals, is driving a transformation. He's ushering in the White Revolution, a series of drastic reforms aimed at modernizing Iran. Land reforms, women's suffrage, industrial growth. It's an era of rapid progression. But as the country propels forward, not everyone is on board. As Iran modernizes, a divide grows. The traditionalists, deeply rooted in their religious and cultural values, see the Shah's reforms as an affront to their way of life. Discontent simmers, quietly at first, then louder, echoing through the streets, the bazaars, and the mosques. At the same time, Iran is not just any nation. It's a country with vast oil reserves, a resource that draws the eyes of foreign powers. The United States and Britain in particular have vested interests in Iran's oil, and they're keen on keeping the Shah, their ally, in power. But as Iran's oil flows west, so does the wealth, leaving many Iranians feeling exploited and discontented. Resentment towards foreign interference grows, adding fuel to the fire already burning. Meanwhile, a new voice is rising, resonating with the disgruntled masses. It's the voice of Ayatollah Ruhollah Khomeini, a religious leader exiled by the Shah. His messages, smuggled into Iran on cassette tapes, speak of an Islamic republic, a government by the people, for the people. So here we are at the precipice of change. Iran, a nation pulled in different directions. The Shah's modern vision, the people's growing discontent, foreign interests, and the rise of a powerful opposition. As we leave the Shah's era, we enter a period of turbulence, a time of revolution. The year is 1979 and the winds of change are blowing strong in Iran. The seeds of revolution had been sown and the discontent was growing. The Shah's modernization policies were viewed by many as an affront to the traditional values of Iran. His autocratic rule, the rampant corruption, and the perceived westernization of the country created a fertile ground for a revolution. At the center of this storm was Ayatollah Ruhollah Khomeini, a religious leader who had been living in exile for nearly 15 years. Khomeini was not just a religious figure, but a symbol of resistance against the Shah's regime. His messages, smuggled into Iran on cassette tapes, resonated with the masses. He promised a return to traditional values and a government led by Islamic law. The pivotal event that sparked the revolution was the death of a popular opposition figure, Hassan Ali Mansour, who was assassinated in January of 1979. This was the match that lit the flame. Protests erupted across the country, and the Shah's attempts to quell the unrest only fueled the fire. The month of January was marked by chaos and upheaval. The Shah declared martial law, but it was too late. The people were no longer afraid. They took to the streets, braving bullets and batons, demanding the Shah's removal. On January 16th, the Shah, facing an overwhelming tide of opposition, fled Iran, never to return. His departure marked the end of a 2,500-year-old monarchy and left a power vacuum that Khomeini was ready to fill. On February 1st, Khomeini returned from exile. His arrival was met with jubilation from the people. He was hailed as a hero, a savior who would restore the dignity and honor of Iran. With the Shah fleeing and Khomeini returning from exile, a new chapter in Iran's history was about to begin. From the ashes of the old regime, a new one rises, built on the principles of an Islamic republic. In the wake of the revolution, Iran was swept up in a whirlwind of change. As the old monarchy crumbled, the country found itself poised on the precipice of a new era. The formation of the Islamic Republic of Iran was not merely a political shift, but a fundamental transformation of the nation's fabric. The establishment of this new republic was validated by a referendum held in April of 1979. An overwhelming majority of the populace voted in favor of the Islamic Republic, a testament to the widespread desire for a drastic change. The referendum was not just a vote for a new political system, but an endorsement of a new identity. Following the referendum, the development of a new constitution became a top priority. This constitution, ratified in December of the same year, was more than a legal document. It was a blueprint for the nation's future, outlining the structure of the government, the rights of the citizens, and the guiding principles of the republic. It drew heavily from Islamic law, integrating religion and state in a way that was unprecedented in Iran's history. The birth of the Islamic Republic brought about profound changes in Iran's political, social, and economic landscape. The monarchy was replaced with a theocratic republic, and the Shah was succeeded by a supreme leader, the first of whom was none other than the figurehead of the revolution, Ayatollah Ruhollah Khomeini. This shift in power was more than symbolic. It marked a departure from the secular, westernized policies of the Shah, and a return to traditional Islamic values. The economic system, too, underwent significant changes. The state took control of large sectors of the economy, with a focus on reducing inequality and promoting social justice. The social landscape was also transformed with an emphasis on religious conservatism. With Khomeini at the helm, Iran had embarked on a new path, one that would lead to a significant shift in power. This shift, while controversial, was a defining moment in Iran's history, shaping the country's trajectory for decades to come. In the wake of Khomeini's death, a new leader emerged, a man named Ali Khamenei. Born in Mashhad, Iran, Khamenei was no stranger to the political scene. He had been a close associate of Khomeini since the early days of the Islamic Republic, serving as the country's president for 2 terms, from 1981 to 1989. But Khamenei's rise to the supreme leader's position was no simple affair. It required a constitutional amendment. As the original laws stipulated, the supreme leader must be a leading Shiite jurist, a qualification Khamenei did not hold. Nevertheless, Khomeini's death left a power vacuum that needed to be filled. With the backing of key political figures, the constitution was revised, and Khamenei was appointed as the new supreme leader in June 1989. From the outset, Khamenei faced a daunting task. He had to consolidate his power and establish his authority in a country still reeling from the Iran-Iraq War and the death of its charismatic leader Khomeini. Khamenei's approach was methodical and strategic. He began to build a network of loyal supporters within the military, the judiciary, and the intelligence services. Over time, Khamenei's influence grew. He successfully navigated through several crises, including the fallout from the death of reformist President Mohammad Khatami in 2009. His reign has also been marked by a firm stance against Western influence, a stance that has defined Iran's foreign policy for over 3 decades. However, Khamenei's leadership style has not been without controversy. Critics argue that his rule has led to a concentration of power that undermines the democratic ideals the revolution sought to uphold. But his supporters see him as a stabilizing force, a leader who has safeguarded the Islamic Republic against both internal and external threats. Khamenei's rise marked the beginning of a new era in Iranian politics, one that continues to this day. As we look back on the Iranian Revolution and the rise of Ali Khamenei, we see a nation transformed. In the late 70s, a wave of discontent led to a revolution that forever altered the landscape of Iran. The Pahlavi dynasty, a monarchy that had ruled for over half a century, was overthrown, and, in its place, an Islamic Republic was born. The revolution wasn't merely a political shift, it was a societal upheaval that left no aspect of Iranian life untouched. From culture to economy, from international relations to the very fabric of daily life, the revolution was a seismic event that echoed around the world. The rise of Ali Khamenei to the position of supreme leader in the 80s further cemented the changes brought by the revolution. His leadership has seen Iran through decades of challenges, from economic sanctions to conflicts with neighboring nations. His reign has been marked by a steadfast commitment to the principles of the revolution and a determination to maintain sovereignty in the face of international pressure. Yet, the legacy of the revolution and Khamenei's reign is a topic of ongoing debate. For some, the revolution was a moment of liberation, a casting off of foreign influence and a reclaiming of national identity. For others, it represented a loss of personal freedoms and a shift towards religious conservatism. Similarly, Khamenei's leadership has been both praised for its resilience and criticized for its authoritarianism. The Iranian Revolution and Khamenei's reign have undeniably left an indelible mark not only on Iran, but also on the broader Middle East. They have shaped the region's geopolitics, influencing relationships among nations and the dynamics of power. They have sparked movements, inspired leaders, and incited conflicts. They have been, in short, a catalyst for change, the effects of which are still unfolding. In the annals of history, these events stand as a testament to the power of revolution and the enduring influence of leadership. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe for more information videos.